Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.
Episode 48.
That is what you'll hear if you have a roommate who watches YouTube videos with the door closed right down the hall. And it's great.
I'm excited about Deadpool.
Me too. Okay, so this episode we're talking about Fantastic Four, Prodigal Son, written by, I believe, Peter David.
Is it a Fantastic Four book?
Technically,
Okay.
I guess, like it was...
He jumps titles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was presented to me as somebody browsing through Comixology as a Fantastic Four title.
Okay.
And like, it shows up in my library as Fantastic Four, Prodigal Son.
Okay.
Even though, technically, the second issue is Silver Surfer and the third issue is Guardians.
Guardians, right.
Yeah. So in this book, as far as I know, they're introducing a brand new character.
I'd never heard of Prodigal before.
Yeah.
Prodigal.
Yes. I thought it was kind of funny how, yeah, instead of prodigal, what you would think the normal word is spelled as, it's pra and Degal.
Pra, apostrophe, D, apostrophe, goal.
Yep.
Yeah. Prodigal. Which, when you look at it, seems like a perfectly fine, we'll call it non-Earth humanoid name.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, but when you say it and see the title, you're like, oh, that is such a dumb joke that I would write it.
And there's a ton of that
Yeah.
in the book.
And it's great. I fucking love it. This is a great story.
It's nice. It's quick. It gets to the point. And there's just a lot of really stupid moments.
Yes.
That makes it really fun.
Well, we start off in the Savage Lands, right?
Yeah.
That's where we start the story.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, to me, that part of the Marvel universe is always just goofy.
Yeah.
It's just so goofy.
It really is just like anything goes.
Yeah.
More so than space, which is weird.
It is weird. Well, even with Pet Avengers, we spent some time in the Savage Lands, and it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just a silly place.
You got dinosaurs, you got primitive, like, Neanderthal-ish people, and you got aliens.
They're like swamp people, but not Swamp Thing. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what they were referred to as, like the swamp people.
The Swamp Clan or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. And there's, like, multiple factions of, like, people. Well, I guess it's like a little microcosm of Earth.
Right. But
with dinosaurs.
In Antarctica,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, with lots of weird shit happening. But the story starts off with a Prodigal crash landing in the Savage Lands, and essentially just said, you guys don't know technology, so I'm just going to lead you guys now.
Yep, I'm the leader.
Yep. That's basically how it goes. It's like, I came from space, so I'm obviously the smartest person here, so listen to me.
It's just so funny. Like, he's such a spoiled shithead.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, he's thinking or something, and one of the panels got interrupted. He said, "Don't you interrupt me when I'm contemplating." And I had an audible laugh. I was like, "Who? Okay, I see where this is going. I'm on board. Don't interrupt me when I'm contemplating."
It's like imagining him thinking there is a visible, like, thinking bubble over his head. That's like, obviously, or quote-unquote obviously, telling his audience, like, I'm thinking here.
Right.
Don't you see this goddamn bubble over my head?
Yes.
But yeah, with the first issue, the Fantastic Four ends up being called in by Kazar because Prodigal is leading the Swamp Clan to the High Evolutionaries base.
Well, the tower, right?
Yeah.
They're going to the tower.
Yeah, I think, to find a ship for Prodigal to go home. But the actual leader of the clan just want to get in there and get some guns.
Some pew-pews.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was funny because he was like, this is undefended. Why haven't you guys gone in here before? And then ran into a force field. I was like, oh, man.
But yeah, so Swamp Clan and Fantastic Four and the other Savage Clan people, big fight, and I guess Prodigal ended up working shit out with the Fantastic Four.
Essentially, yeah.
For the most part, until he steals their ship.
Right.
And that kind of, I don't know. It's just so fucking weird. Like, because I don't know why he actually needed a ship, because he could survive out in space, obviously.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Is it more of like he can only go so fast with his fire powers?
I don't know. Like, well, he's got more than fire powers, too.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
use
got
some wind power, buddy. To get to outer space, and then figure it out from there. I don't know.
Right. It's just, it's weird.
Yeah.
But it also kind of feels like, a lot of it is just for a joke, to make it fun, which is fine.
It
whatever.
works.
Yeah.
It works. So
it worked in this context.
Oh, there was didn't someone accidentally get lasered to death when they got the guns? They were like, oh, don't do that thing, and then someone got lasered to death.
I definitely remember seeing somebody at least one person got lasered to death.
And I don't think they were intentionally, like, I think they were just dicking around with it and then went oopsies, basically.
I kind of want to say maybe it was like a instance where they shot the laser gun and it bounced off something else and hit them.
Maybe. I can't remember now. But, yeah, damn it. Fuck.
It was a nice moment.
Yes.
Though. It was a nice moment. But after Prodigal steals the Fantastic Four ship.
That's what happened. That's what it was. Something, I don't remember exactly what happened, but someone died, and then he says, see what happens when you don't listen to me? You die. If you don't listen to me, you die. Yeah. Because I think he was saying, like, don't mess with that.
Yeah.
And then someone died. And see, that's what happens when don't listen to me. Little asshole. He's an asshole. I love him.
He is. And honestly, I don't know if he's still floating around the Marvel Universe, but hopefully he is, and they do something cool with him.
Right. Well, then after this, it went to the Surfer book, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of had
that was more of a kind of a backstory
for
Prodigal.
Because they showed Surfer when he was still the Herald.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, when does this take place? Because it didn't click to me that it was like a flashback or a backstory.
Right.
Until a little bit into the book. I was like, oh, I understand now.
So with his encounter with the Surfer the first time, it was, I guess, the king of his planet sending Prodigal out to this colony that was apparently having an uprising or something.
Right, because they ruled over it and it was having an uprising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Prodigal gets to the planet about to, lay down the law when he discovers that everybody's just fucking leaving. Because fucking Galactus is coming.
So why is everyone leaving? What the fuck? Oh.
But then Prodigal, being just, I guess, incredibly arrogant, decided I'm gonna fight the Surfer and Galactus.
Yes.
And fight them off by myself. And obviously, I didn't go very well for him.
No.
But the fight with the Surfer was pretty fun, especially when they went underwater.
Yes.
Because the distorted vocal or voices and whatever, yeah. They're trying to carry on a conversation, Prodigal and the Surfer, and then the Surfer's like, "Oh, fart!" and it just blasts. I guess incinerates the water or evaporates the water, something, so that there's actually air for them to communicate.
It was ridiculous. Like they devoted panels to these two characters trying to communicate with each other underwater and not.
How much time did you spend trying to read what they're trying to say?
Oh, very little. Like, not at all.
Oh, yeah?
Basically, yeah.
I spent probably 10 minutes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you come out with? Do you remember?
No. I don't.
Awesome.
Other than Surfer starting to say, oh, for something.
Gotcha.
Where he kind of trails off.
Yeah. Well.
But
I might have to go back and actually be that ridiculous. And like, what were they? It doesn't matter. I'm not going to do that. Yeah. Who am I kidding?
And it's not worth your time, but if you're like me, it's worth your time for those like first 5 minutes. The second 5 minutes, I don't know.
I was just happy to see Surfer. That was fun.
And did you catch their little conversation toward the end of that issue where they're back in the present day on the moon, and they were trying to talk to each other again, but they can't because there's no atmosphere. So Prodigal made air bubbles around their heads.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, I really like the fact that they took into account that air, you can't hear in space because there's no atmosphere. But they didn't go far enough to connect the bubbles.
I didn't even think about that.
It's like they're just halfway there. Halfway, they know that something's wrong,
right?
But they didn't quite fix it.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
But I can imagine, seeing a tube of air connecting two heads, looking a little weird, but that's how it should have worked.
Right, I can almost guarantee there was that conversation had.
Yeah.
Like, they probably were having conversations like, we're going to do bubbles, but how does it... Oh, it's going to look dumb as shit. We're going to take creative license here and just do the bubbles. When really, the best move probably would have been to not do the bubbles.
Yeah.
At all. No one would have thought, really.
Yeah.
But then you get someone something to think about. Like
or just maybe just a big bubble.
One big bubble. Yes.
Yeah, one big bubble.
And then they kiss in the bubble.
Yes.
Surfer and Prodigal kiss. And they become lovers. And travel the galaxy together.
And they have a kid who is actually a star, like not like a celebrity star, but like a burning ball of gas star,
gaseous being.
Yeah, but then the kid, the burning gaseous being, gets really mad at Surfer and Prodigal for some reason and fucks off, and that's the prodigal son.
Yeah, because I always wanted a mom. And fucks off. It's like, well,
That's the secret fourth issue.
You don't get a mom. Get out of here. You can have Mother Earth.
There you go. So that's the adventure with Surfer, and the short limited run actually ends with the third issue, which was back on Prodigal's main planet with the Guardians. And what was it? He went back to dethrone his brother, right?
Yeah, and then his brother, I guess, killed his dad.
Yeah. And the reason is apparently the dad's like some warmonger.
Yep.
And just isn't doing the best thing for the planet or for the Empire.
Right. He just constantly wants to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then the brother's like, no.
Yeah.
Let's not. I'm going to kill you. And then he does.
Yep. But it's in this issue though, we get another amazing like shithead Prodigal moment, which is everything's said and done, and Prodigal's like, all right, fine, you can have this planet and the Empire, that's fine, you can have it somewhere else because I'm destroying this planet. I'm destroying the sun.
Yeah.
And it's like the ultimate, like, no, I'm just gonna take my ball and go home.
Yeah. What a dick. I also liked when he was talking about how how'd he put it? It was like, he's no one, or he was fighting he talking about fighting Galactus. And he said that, oh, that was nothing, or I'm no one. And then he debated himself, like, well, if I'm no one, and I defeated him, and I'm not going to land this? But just keep those words in mind when you're reading, because it was very funny when I read it.
I think it was some side character said, no one can defeat Galactus.
Yes, okay.
And
yes.
he said, I'm not no one. Oh, wait, but if no one can beat Galactus, then I need to be no one
Yeah,
to beat Galactus.
Right. He just went on this trail.
What? But that was a very good moment as well. There's just a ton of that in like this short 3 issues, like limited series.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be much longer based on page count.
Yeah.
It was not.
No, it went by pretty fucking fast.
And it had a lot of just meat to it for a short little nothingness, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's a prodigal son, quite literally.
Yeah. it's economy of words and just really well executed in general. And I would recommend it.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for like some, one-off space adventure in the Marvel universe.
Absolutely. I mean, even, do you like superhero goofy shit?
Yeah.
Yes? Read.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah.
We listened to Falkenbach. Asa? I assume is how it's pronounced. German one-man band.
That was one man.
Well, I don't know if this album was, but
Okay.
I know some of the albums were a one-man band situation. And Prophecy Production, I want to say. Put this one out.
I was doing like bare minimum research on Falkenbach because I was trying to make some jokes.
Okay.
And they all just died.
Line them up. 1,
All
2,
right.
3. Let's deliver. Joke time with
So-
Dingus and Dongus.
I was gonna go with Falkenbach, right? We got Falken and Bach, and in my head I was thinking the Falkland Islands were in Canada. So it would be, a Canadian Bach, and Bach was famous for his cannons, which is, a type of composition. So it would be Canuck cannons. But that doesn't work because the Falkland Islands are in Argentina. It's like, God damn it.
Line up the next joke.
I went as far as Falkenbach. It was like, okay, birds. And that's it. There you go. That's a joke. Falkenbach.
Cue laugh track.
See you next time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Overall, I enjoyed it. I hadn't listened to any of his/their stuff since like the first 3 albums that I can't pronounce any of.
Yeah.
Because it's all in some other language.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always appreciated that they did a hybrid of like folk or Viking, if you want to call it that, and black metal together. And it's more in the vein of musically, maybe some Enslaved or later Bathory albums versus like a Corplicani or whatever.
Okay.
Where it's kind of like it's folky, but it's like on the nose.
Yeah.
Like, this is what folk is supposed to sound like. Whereas Falkenbach, later Bathory, feels like, oh, this is actual derivative of Nordic music or Germanic tribe music or whatever the case may be. That's what I liked about Falkenbach when I listened to their stuff. This album has some of that,
Yeah.
but then it also has some, like, sorta melodic death metal stuff that I'm not too crazy about.
Yeah.
And then atmospheric kind of black metal, all jumbled together. It's a weird album.
Yeah, it's like, I guess I broke it down in my head as, we got the basically black metal song.
Yeah.
And then you got the songs that wouldn't be out of place, say, by a campfire.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I could imagine, a bunch of, I don't know, people back in the day gathering around a campfire and singing one of these more acoustic-driven songs.
Right, yeah. And there's something about that type of, we're going to call it, quote-unquote, folk metal that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Instead of some of the other stuff, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, you also got, the really on-the-nose stuff would be like Fintroll.
Right.
Where, yeah.
Well, even their Fintroll, we're not talking about them. Their earlier stuff is different than their later stuff.
Yeah.
I know people say about bands a lot, but it's like their later stuff, they found what posers really like and just played that because there's a lot of posers in the world.
They found what will make them money.
Yeah.
They found what will allow them to quit their day job.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Clue. Yeah. I can't imagine that band's making enough money anyway.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I really like it. I like, again, their first couple albums more because it was more black metal-y most of the time with some folk in it. And then this one was a little bit different.
Now, you said they're from Germany, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I could have sworn the dude's clean vocal sound just like Wintersorg. So I just thought it was Wintersorg on the album.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not.
Okay. It just sounded a lot like Wintersorg.
Unless he was a guest vocalist. I didn't look that up, so I don't know.
Gotcha.
Now I'm curious.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
On Facebook at Dingus and Dongus.
Let us know in the comments on Spotify.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments on Apple.tv.
Where that new show with Tom Hanks and a robot exists.
Yes, eating apples. That's the name of the show and also what they do.
Track 4 has an amazing riff.
Track 4, is that the really... They're all kind of pretty epic.
I don't even know if it's track 4 now that I think about it. It's 4 or 5. There's an atmospheric kind of slow, moody one.
Yeah.
And then amazing riff song is after that.
Okay.
That's all I got for you.
I just remember one... I don't remember the name of the song. I don't remember which track. But I know it's somewhere around halfway through the album.
Uh-huh.
And it's, overdriven, distorted guitars with, soaring, clean vocals on top.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, every time that song comes on the album, it's like, oh, yeah. Nice.
Nice. So how did you feel overall with the album? Spare my feelings.
Yeah.
No, fuck it, I don't care.
I thought it's good for the genre.
Yeah.
Which isn't something I listen to very often.
Gotcha. Would you go back and listen to any of the earlier albums, do you think? On your own, without me saying.
Well, I know I have in the past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know who Falkenbach is.
Oh, gotcha.
Just, I know the name.
Gotcha.
But, yeah. And I know I've listened to 1 or 2 albums in the past. But yeah, I think it's all well done. I just don't visit the whole folk metal genre very often. I do I was thinking, okay, so this is supposed to be, kind of Germanic or Nordic folk music inspired
stuff,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't have too much experience with Heilung or Druna.
Yeah.
And I know they're Norwegian, so a little different.
Yeah.
How does it compare?
Well, Druna, no like guitar.
Yeah.
It's just all.
It's all percussion and just singing.
Yeah, stuff
Okay.
like that, and it's different
Yeah.
because this obviously has like the atmospheric black metal stuff to it. So, but it almost Falkenbach feels like less ritualistic, maybe.
Okay.
Whereas like Wardruna, I could see why some of the stuff that I've heard, like I could see how that would be more ritualistic for whatever.
Okay.
Like if you were old in Scandinavian times, like playing this music to go out and then pillage. I don't know.
Okay. So maybe distinction would be like Heilung, Wardruna are more of like ancient past, whereas Falkenbach is more medieval.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
That would be fair-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was also thinking about like just the idea of folk music, and like I guess in my head I didn't really know what the distinction is, so I did a quick Google, and a lot of it has to do with music that's passed down through oral tradition as opposed to systematically writing it down like composers would do.
Okay.
A lot of it talks about national stuff, national history, and I guess I'm not nearly I'm not versed at all in like traditional folk European music. Period.
Me either. Like, it's an interesting thought. Ultimately, I have no clue what folk music is.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
Right.
like, so I've heard American folk music and Americana, but that is nothing like fucking something you hear from ancient Japan or fucking Scandinavia
Yeah.
or Africa and the heartland of Africa somewhere. Like, all different shit. All
Yeah.
can be called folk music, right?
Right.
So,
And I guess a lot of it comes down to that aspect of things passed down through oral tradition and stuff like that. Like,
so do you suppose, in that sense, it doesn't really matter what the instruments are?
I think so.
And then also, it's kind of a jam session,
Yeah.
basically.
So Fish
yeah,
is a folk band, and the Grateful Dead, and really anything not written by anybody who has studied music theory. It's folk music.
yes.
People who write music write folk music. Folks, because I don't know where this is going.
Folks play music.
Yep. If you're a folk and you play music, you're playing folk music. That's all, folks. Music.
Oink, oink, oink.
Dingus and Dongus.
Hey, Michael.
Oh, this is a fun toy. Have you picked this up?
What the fuck?
Squeeze it. It's just like accordion cardboard with a bell in it.
This is mine now.
That's a really cool tool or toy. It just is neat. I would prefer it without the bell,
Yeah.
and if it was just the
It's like surprisingly sturdy for like what I'm assuming is cardboard.
yeah. That's pretty cool.
No, not for you.